since we put up the video, a short video about get a good Bible, we probably have to go into a little more detail because some don't really understand or comprehend why it is that we're saying get a good Bible. Well, first of all, if we're going to build, if we're going to even communicate, we need some common ground. You know, we need some common ground upon which to build on. Some common understanding, if you please. You know, if you don't have a common way of communicating, a common understanding, then how are we going to build? You understand? Even to get to overstanding, because everything starts from the basic foundation. How are we going to get to that point? And we've tried the Rastafari for several years. Once they tried it, Rastafari, you know, been learning and seeking to grow in the ways of Rastafari, the ways of His Imperial Majesty for several years. Been around all the different mansions. Have nothing but love for the people, the brothers and the sisters in the different mansions. I mean, the love so much that we're willing to put ourselves out there. You understand? And expose certain things, both within the community that needs to be corrected, as well as things outside the community that probably can only be corrected by fire. You understand? By judgment. But it needs to be known by those of us who are in the community, as well as some of our brothers and sisters and others out there that are caught up in it. You see, so when we speak about getting a good Bible, you know, and some of the responses that come from certain individuals, you know, some of the negative responses. It's not the negative response that really bothers us, but it's from who it comes from. You would have thought that these ones would have known better. You see what I'm saying? You expected that, like, from so-called a heathen. Like someone saying that, well, we are criticizing the mansions of Rastafari and Rastafari is a rallying point. You understand? I mean, giving us some very parochial and some very immature kind of replies to the real detail of what we're saying. See, we can understand if they were dealing with the issues. We can understand they were dealing with the issues, the actual points that we're making, but they're not. They're dealing with their own feelings and emotions about what we've said. You understand? And not even whether, is there a point about that? Is there a point that His Imperial Majesty says that the Bible is the rallying point for all humanity? He doesn't say that Rastafari is the rallying point. He says that the Bible, he says that when man sees his hopes and his aspirations crumbling before him, he is bewildered, he's perplexed, and he don't know where he is drifting, you know. And I'm paraphrasing now, but all of y'all who know this know exactly what he says there. He's looking for answers to these questions that can't be answered. You understand? And he must turn to the Bible, because the Bible is that only hope for mankind. But he actually uses the word, he uses the word rallying point. He actually uses specifically the word in the translation now, the word rallying point for all humanity. So then to have some Rastas, as they call themselves, because they obviously have some investment in this name Rasta. You know, I can understand if you have a business out there and you've been selling a lot of, you know, Rasta products and other stuff like that, you know, then you're like, well, wow, I'm affecting your business. That's what you're thinking about. And that's the same thing that those who sought to crucify the Christ were thinking about too. They were thinking about their business, how their business is going to be affected, how their so-called bottom line, because the bottom line was the dollar, or was mammon. The bottom line wasn't God. You see, the bottom line was mammon. The bottom line wasn't what the Word of God says and how we should build on the foundation of the Word of God. You see what I'm saying? So when we say get a good Bible, we need a common ground. We need some common ground to build upon. You see, the devil already knew that we had common ground like 40, 50, 60, and 70 years ago, because most people had the King James Bible. So when somebody quoted from the Bible, in fact, you know, when they even went to a certain area of the Bible, they could have even mentioned what the page was, and other people probably had the same Bible, which was the King James Bible. It's not King James as our rallying point. Don't get it twisted. Please don't get that twisted. You know, one particular individual, and I'll say brother loosely, you understand, said that, you know, perhaps we should shave our principles. Still didn't understand what we were saying, that the locks or the beard, you understand, is not the principle. The principle is the word of God. You understand? And for us, it's Rastafari and Rastafari. The principle should be the word and teachings of His Imperial Majesty, first and foremost. That's what a lot of you don't want to really hone in on. And y'all think that we don't see y'all. You know, those of y'all who want to resist this and fight against what His Imperial Majesty teaches, y'all are making yourselves obvious, both to those who are within as well as those who are without, those who are outside of Rastafari. But it's becoming a lot much more clear. It's like even Dr. York did a book a couple of years ago, Are There Black Devils? And many other black teachers and leaders and ones out there trying to communicate to black people, having a great love of black people, got to recognize the real threat to black people are really from other so-called black peoples who have a devilish mentality. And how do we define that? Well, if you say His Imperial Majesty is God and King of Kings, and this doesn't mean that we disagree with that, but we're speaking to you because we agree with that. So we go to what His Imperial Majesty says. And what His Imperial Majesty says obviously contradicts what you guys are saying. So there's a problem. You understand? There's a problem. Some say, well, we should just be humble. We should not say nothing. We should just allow this to roll on. You understand? That's exactly what the devils want you to do. You understand? They want you to be like the Bible speaks about a false humility. A false, was it humility? Humility. Let's look that up for a moment. Since we put up the video, a short video about get a good Bible, we probably have to go into a little more detail because some don't really